Welcome to another episode of Islam in the Light of Christian Eschatology. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so, and if you have missed out watching the previous episode, you can click on the info card on the top right-hand corner of this video to go to the playlist. All the 5 previous episodes are arranged in order. In the previous episode, we discussed about the dream of King Nebuchadnezzar and its significance for the entire world in general. As discussed earlier, this dream shows us the future of the Middle East. In the dream, the king dreamt of a huge imposing statue of a person. Its head was made of pure gold and the chest was made of silver. The belly and the thighs were made of bronze, whereas the legs were made of iron. It also showed that the feet of the statue were made of a mixture of iron and clay. We also read that an uncut stone came and struck the feet of the statue, by which the entire edifice came crashing down, breaking into small pieces. It also goes on to say that the image got powdered like a chaff and was taken away by the wind, leaving no trace of it. The uncut stone went on to become a great mountain and filled the whole earth. We also understood that the golden head signified the Babylonian Empire. The silver chest and arms signified the Medo-Persian Empire. The belly and thigh of bronze signified the Greek Empire, whereas the iron legs signified the Islamic Caliphate. We also gave reasons for the same inferences based on historical data and biblical exegesis. Now let us focus on the composition of the feat and great event which caused the destruction of the statue. We know that the Islamic Caliphate ruled a substantial portion of the Middle East from the 8th century till the early 20th century. And it was in 1924 when the last caliph of the Ottoman dynasty, Ataturk, declared the dissolution of the Islamic Caliphate following the defeat in World War I. Siding with Germany in World War I may have been the most significant reason for the Ottoman Empire's demise. Before the war, the Ottoman Empire had signed a secret treaty with Germany, which turned out to be a very bad choice. As a result, Ataturk reformed by replacing the Ottoman Empire with the Republic of Turkey. This decision caused much distress to the Muslim world because they wanted to run over the entire world. This was part of that prophetic utterance in the book of Daniel where the iron will lose its stronghold and be forced to compromise with the non-Islamic world for their existence. Most modern countries of the Middle East were formed by the British after the First and Second World War. A new structure was laid in place. Notice this map. The Ottoman Empire before its demise looked like this. In Europe, countries like Greece, Bulgaria, Croatia, Hungary and Bosnia were part of the Ottoman Empire. In the Middle East, the modern states of Iraq, Syria, Egypt, Lebanon, Saudi, Kuwait was all part of the Ottoman Empire. The formation of these modern states from the Ottoman Empire meant that the iron leg period of the statue was over. Instead of that, the Middle East was changed to self-governing states. Some of them leaning towards ultra-Orthodox Islamic way of life and some as more modern and democratic, at least on paper. These nations were all part of the Ottoman Empire. However, when the iron leg disintegrated, they all became separate entities. Now these separate entities, which we call as Islamic countries, are caught in a catch-22 situation. They want to be Islamic, but at the same time, they also want to be modern and democratic. However, Islam and democracy cannot go together. Both are mutually exclusive. When a country decides to become completely Islamic, they become like Afghanistan under the Taliban. And when a country tries to become democratic without letting go of Islam, they end up like Pakistan. Just as the clay cannot stick with the iron, democracy and modern values cannot go together with Islam. The Islamic law is not a law based on equality of human beings. The law in Islam is divided into 2 parts. The same law treats a Muslim different than a non-Muslim. The rewards and punishments are based on the religion of the individual. If a trespass is done by a Muslim, he will at best be reprimanded and let off. However, if the same thing is done by a non-Muslim, he will be severely punished and that could even end up losing his life. This kind of differential treatment based on one's religion has brought embarrassment to Islamic leaders in international forums. The dilemma of the leaders in the Arab League is how to run with the hare and hunt with the hounds. They want an optimal mix of both, which is as impossible as the mixing of the clay with the iron. For example, Saudi Arabia was a very ultra-Orthodox Islamic country. However, lately they have loosened up. Women can drive and can go alone. They have started clubs and different things which are considered as vice in Islam. This liberalization will continue. The harsh punishments which were part of Islamic rule would give way to more liberal way of life. As much as we see that liberalism is being accommodated by hardline Islamic countries, we should understand that the percentage of the clay is increasing in the feet of the statue of Nebuchadnezzar. Cities like Neom is supposed to be completely free of hardline Islamic rule. It can become the Las Vegas of the Arab world. Many things that people did in secret will no more be kept covered under the closet. The influence of Western modernism has already consumed cities like Dubai in a big way. The whirlwind of modernization will continue to dilute the Islamic strongholds to its core. This kind of development was unheard in the Islamic world. Gradually, the dilution of hardline Islamic values will come to its fruition. However, the political rhetoric will continue. The opposition of the Arab world towards Israel will keep blowing hot and cold. Their hatred towards the nation of Israel will keep on simmering within them even though they will put up a facade of normalization. According to some biblical scholars, this is the time when the leaderless Islamic nations will see the rise of a strong ruler who will reform the present situation and form a coalition of Islamic countries as an Islamic Caliphate. The smashing of the statue of Nebuchadnezzar by the uncut stone is the climax of many events that will happen in the Middle East. The Bible is very clear about the events that would happen. At the center of all these events is one city that is the controversy of the world. Yes, it's hard to miss it. It is the city of Jerusalem. To be precise, the old city of Jerusalem, which will be the epicenter of the problems of the entire world. Zechariah chapter 12 verse 3 says, "And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it." This was a prophecy which was uttered by the prophet Zechariah 520 years before the birth of Jesus Christ. Can anybody of us deny the truth of this statement as of today? Isn't Jerusalem a burdensome stone for the governments of the world? In simple terms, it's a controversy between Israel and the Islamic world. The small city of Jerusalem is claimed by both these entities. The Arab Palestinians are at the forefront of the controversy with their Jewish neighbors. The Arab Muslim world has taken the side of the Palestinians. There has been quite a lot of wars between Israel and its surrounding nations till now. However, the grand finale is yet to come. Zechariah 12 verse 2 says about the parties to the controversy, "Behold, I am about to make Jerusalem a cup of staggering to all the surrounding peoples." The siege of Jerusalem will also be against Judah. Most people admire the security and the defense of Israel. However, the Bible says that there would be a point when the defense of Israel will be incapable to offset the attack coming from the surrounding nations. The Iron Dome will be insufficient. Their smartness will be overpowered by the sheer number of Muslims in the war. The enemies of Israel will enter Jerusalem and commit atrocities against the people of the city. Needless to say, it's speaking about the non-Muslim civilian population. Pay attention to what Zechariah prophesizes in Zechariah chapter 14 verse 2. "For I will gather all the nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken and the houses plundered and the women raped. Half of the city shall go out into exile, but the rest of the people shall not be cut off from the city." Clearly, the battle lines will be drawn between the city. Half of the city will be under the control of the Muslims and the rest will be controlled by the nation of Israel. Interestingly, the Muslim armies are prophesied to do exactly as the Quran asks them to do. The Quran and the Prophet permitted the rape of married women captured during times of war. Quran 4:24 states that, "And all married women are forbidden to you, except those your right hands possess." As shocking as it may seem, both the Quran and Muhammad teach that it is halal, permissible, to capture and rape female war captives. These are events leading to the last day. The day when the kingdom of humans will be over and the messianic kingdom will be established. The last day is also referred as the day of the Lord. Therefore, any references to the day of the Lord in the Bible should also be understood as the day when Christ returns back to the earth. Now let us identify the nations that would attack Israel in this last battle for Jerusalem. The nations participating in this war are mentioned by name in Ezekiel chapter 30. Pay attention to the screen as I will be highlighting the name of the nations too. Let me read from Ezekiel chapter 30 verse 1 through 5. The word of the Lord came to me. Son of man, prophesy and say, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Wail and say, alas for that day. For the day is near, the day of the Lord is near, a day of clouds, a time of doom for the nations. A sword will come against Egypt, and anguish will come upon Cush, Sudan. When the slain fall in Egypt, her wealth will be carried away and her foundations torn down. Cush or Sudan and Libya, Lydia also known as Turkey and all Arabia, Cub, Northern Africa, and the people of the League, the Arab League, land will fall by the sword along with Egypt. In short, it will be the Arab League that would be at war with the nation of Israel. The ones in the military combat may be less, but it is indeed an Arab-Israeli war. And in that all Arabia, we will get the nation of Iraq and Syria too. They will represent the Babylonian Empire as part of the coalition. They will represent not only the Babylonian Empire but also the Medo-Persian, Greek and the Islamic empires. No other place in the entire Arab land will have that so-called honor which the modern countries of Iraq and Syria holds. You might be thinking that I am telling that all these nations will attack Israel. I would like to clarify that all of them will not militarily attack Israel. The number of nations which will physically fight against Israel will be a lesser count. However, they will have the express support of the rest of these nations. What joins all these countries is the common interest created between them by Islam. There is a concept of Muslim Ummah which means Islamic brotherhood. Though they are at odds with each other because of their self-interests, they are bound by the one strong cord called the Muslim Ummah. It would not be surprising to see those Islamic countries outside the Arab world supporting the Arabs in this venture. Islam is not just a religion, it also causes the Arabization of the people. It inserts the Arab culture into non-Arab people. Countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, Pakistan, Bangladesh are not part of the Arab world, but they are more Arabs than the Arabs themselves by virtue of their love for the Muslim Ummah. Interestingly, the Bible itself tells us the name of this mixed empire which represents the feet of the statue of Nebuchadnezzar. The word used for mixed is Arab. Let us turn to Daniel chapter 2 verse 41 and here you will notice the term Arab used for mix. When used as a conjunction for a past tense it's mentioned as Arab. You can check the same in Daniel chapter 2 verse 43 where Arab is used for does mix. Let us go to the Strong's Concordance to see the root word. Lo and behold, the word Arab means to mix. There are only 4 occurrences of this word in the whole of the Bible and it's in these 2 verses of Daniel chapter 2 verse 41 and 43. Notice here how the word Arab means mix. You cannot miss out on this aspect of the end-time empire of the Middle East region. Technically speaking, this portion of the Bible could have used the term Messic to mean the same. But the choice of the word is unmistakable. There is no mistakes with God. Some of you might be thinking that this is just a coincidence. However, I don't think so. This same way, the Spirit of God clearly mentioned the kingdom's name that would replace the Babylonian Empire. Let us turn to that portion of the scripture where God explicitly mentions the word Persia as the successor to the Babylonian Empire, even though the sentence was about the overthrow of the Babylonian Empire. This is regarding the vision that was seen by Belshazzar while he was partying with his friends using the holy vessels of the Temple of Jerusalem. We can read that in Daniel chapter 5 verse 25. The words he saw was the 4 Aramaic words many tekel opharsin. These words means numbered, weighed, divided. The word opharsin, even though it meant divided, it clearly gave the information that it will be the Farsi people who would come to take over. Farsi is the name and the language of the people of Iran, ancient Persia. In the same way, the usage of the word Arab in context to the feet of iron and clay is a clear indication of the nature of the 5th empire to rule the Middle East. Now that we have identified all the 5 empires before the final destruction of by the uncut stone, we will conclude this episode here. We will identify the stone and its details in the next episode. Please do like and subscribe the channel. Also make sure that you have clicked on the bell icon to receive updates as soon as we upload a new video. Till then, may the Lord keep you and bless you.